everybody. We have the library book sale haul. I have 4 boxes. There's 60 total items. I probably won't read the backs of everything. This is the box that's got the least stuff in it. Dang it. I've cut that open again. I have cut myself right at the edge of my fingernail twice today. Both times on boxes.
Oh boy.
At the library boxes.
Huh.
So I was at 59 things, and I made him go find something else to add to the stack. So this is the thing he picked, because 59 just was awkward. The lady at the table, the cashier, she was just laughing. But see, the way the book sale for the Meigs County Library works is it's a donation. You can take however many books you want. It's just a donation. So I gave him $20 and we got 4 boxes of stuff. He picked out Sci-Fi 4-pack DVD. It's got Leeches, The Cold Equations, Last Lives, and Firehead. Ooh, I've heard of some of these guys. What year was that? Does it say? Firehead has Christopher Plummer, Martin Landau, and Chris Lemmon. But I don't see a year. The collection was produced in 2010. I don't see a date for that one. Last Lives has C. Thomas Howell, Jennifer Rubin, Billy Wirth, and Judge Reinhold. Again, I know some of those names. Says copyright 1998 for that one. The Cold Equations has Billy Campbell, William R. Moses, and Poppy Montgomery. I've heard of her. But I don't see a year listed. And Leeches doesn't list any names. Let's see here. Matthew Twining, Josh Henderson, Stacy Wilson, Tony Carocchio, Charity Romer, Mike Cole. I graduated high school with a guy named Mike Cole. Probably not the same guy. Maya Parrish, Stephen Samhain, Michael Lutz, Greg Lukowski, Mark Miller, Trevor Harris, Alexandra Westmore, Julie Briggs, Tyler Sustine? No. I don't know, a bunch of names I don't recognize. Anyway, sci-fi. Sometimes sci-fi movies are pretty cool. I picked up The Lilac Girls by Martha Hall Riley. I believe this is World War II. Inspired by the life of real World War II heroine, this remarkable novel reveals the power of unsung women to change history in their quest for love, freedom, and second chances. So, I didn't know that was a romance. I knew it was war, but I didn't know it was romance. Cookbook called Cake Pops Holidays by Bakerella. Got some cute ones. If I can find some pictures of completed ones. There's some wreaths. Stockings. Oh, the Jingle Bell ones are cool. I like those. Edible silver spray. I bet you could get a gold spray and have gold Jingle Bells as well. Oh, the polar bears are adorable. So these are cool. Let's set that there. I have a book called Hachiko Waits. Hachiko. And it's got the ASPCA Henry Berg Children's Book Honor. It's about a doggy. It's a kid's book. I found 20 to Make knitted headbands. It's going to go to either my sister-in-law or my niece. My niece wants to learn to knit. My sister-in-law knits and is teaching her. I found 2 graphic novels. This one is Joe Quinn's Poltergeist. I thought it looked kind of interesting. And then I found, and I had heard of this one. I didn't realize it was a graphic novel until I picked it up. It's called American Born Chinese. And so, looks pretty interesting. And then I have On the Other Side of the Hill. Now this is part of the Little House series written by Roger Lee McBride, and it is the Rocky Ridge years. So I don't know. Okay, it centers on Rose's adventures and scrapes. So it would be Laura Ingalls Wilder's daughter, I think, that it follows. And then I picked up 2 Rick Riordan books. The Red Pyramid, which is book 1 from the Kane Chronicles, which I haven't read any of those yet. And then Trials of Apollo, the book 4, The Tyrant's Tomb. I was hoping to find more of his books, but I didn't see any. So that's the first box. But I like Rick Riordan's stuff. So I'm pretty happy to have found those. And I'm not in a hurry to read them because I've got plenty of other stuff to read. Alright. I don't know if I have this one or not, so I went ahead and picked it up. This is a Give Yourself Goosebumps book. Please Don't Feed the Vampire. I think Goosebumps books are fun. Let's see. 3, 4. I was close. I said Cat in the Library. This is Cat in Stacks. I found 4 books by Miranda James from the Cat in the Stacks series. I really wish they would put numbers on the side so I knew which ones I got. I have The Silence of the Library, Out of Circulation, Arsenic and Old Books, which contains a bonus short story, and No Cats Allowed. Now, is there a list by chance? Okay, Murder Past Due, Classified as Murder, File M for Murder, Out of Circulation. The Silence of the Library, Arsenic and Old Books, No Cats Allowed, 12 Angry Librarians. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, apparently. But that's okay. And then I picked up 3 books by Jen McKinley that are Library Lovers Mystery. On Borrowed Time, Read It and Weep, and Do or Die. Again, I don't know the order, and they, for whatever reason, refuse to mark series books with the numbers on the spine. Let's see. Books Can Be Deceiving, Do or Die. Book 2. Book, Line, and Sinker, Read It and Weep. is book 4. And then On Borrowed Time is book 5. I've read other books by her and really liked them. There's a Scotty on the cover. Aw. Aw, Nana would love that. I picked up one by Ellery Adams. This is a book retreat mystery, Murder in the Paperback Parlor. I've read some books by Ellery Adams before as well. So I knew I'd be good picking one of hers up. Yeah, she did the Charmed Pie Shop mysteries. Killer plot, deadly cliche, the last word written in stone. Poison prose, lethal letters. Oh, that's Books by the Bay. Book retreat mysteries, Murder in the Mystery Suite. Murder in the Mystery Suite. Murder in the Paperback Parlor. So this is book 2. But I didn't see any others by that author, so. And I picked up a copy of A Tree Grows in Brooklyn by Betty Smith. The young girl's awakening. Born into a poor slum family, Francie Nolan learned about life too soon. She learned that her father was a hopeless drunk, that her brother would always be the favored child, that her beautiful Aunt Sissy liked too many men too well, that her mother would always try to dominate her life. Brimming with the heartaches, joys, and passions of youth, this is a sensitive yet frankly realistic novel about a young girl's coming of age. I had no idea what that was about. I never would have guessed that. So, okay. And the Neko picked up Pokemon Secrets of the GS Ball. Because he likes Pokemon.
Yeah.
And he picked up the movie 28 Days Later, widescreen special edition.
Which, I think this month is when they're doing the years later.
I don't know. I know there's one coming out. And, of course, I picked up some cookbooks. This one's called Flaky Friends, Red Hot Mama's Cookbook. Red Hot Mama's group out of Gallipolis. Got pictures of the ladies. And again, he has a community cookbook, so Johnny Marzetti. Brown chuck, onion, green bell pepper, garlic, mushrooms. Tomato sauce, cheddar cheese, macaroni, garlic powder, salt and pepper, olive oil. That's different than what we made. But I guess everybody's probably got their own recipe for that. Picked one up called I Love Bacon. And it's full of bacon recipes.
Yeah.
Bacon wrapped mango chutney and manchego stuffed dates. Okay? Bacon wrapped Parmigiano. That's hard to say. Stuffed dates. Patatas bravas. Bacon and tuna poke. Now, poke is uncooked fish. I hope they're cooking the bacon. Ew. Crispy pork belly stir fry with rice noodles and green peppercorns and Thai basil. I like rice noodles. Bacon mac and cheese. Whole roasted branzino with carrots and bacon. I can't eat fish that's looking at me. Bacon and sauerkraut stew with cucumber salad. There's a cupcake that's got bacon on it. Chocolate bacon cupcake. Star Kiss Sensational Tuna. Cookbook. Vogue Knitting Bags 2. On the Go. Another one for either my sister-in-law or my niece. I will probably just put them in a stack and say, have at it. And I picked up a book called Machines Like Me by Ian McEwan. He's the author of Atonement, which I thought was a good book. He's also the author of what was that one we returned today?
No idea.
The Cement Garden, which I really got the ick from. It was kind of meh. It's only like 150 something pages, but it was full of incest. Think a higher class version of Flowers in the Attic, where it wasn't as in your face, but the narrator, a boy named Jack, who's like 15, was obsessed with his older sister. And you could tell there was something funky going on. Because one of the games they would play was to take their younger sister, strip her naked, and touch her in inappropriate ways.
Oh boy.
Yeah, not for me. I don't want to read incest stories, and I didn't know that was an incest story. I read it because it's one of the 1,000 books you must read before you die. This one, um, Machines Like Me, takes place in an alternative 1980s London. Charlie, drifting through life and dodging full-time employment, is in love with Miranda, a bright student who lives with a terrible secret. When Charlie comes into money, he buys Adam, one of the first synthetic humans, and, with Miranda's help, he designs Adam's personality. The near-perfect human that emerges is beautiful, strong, and clever. It isn't long before a love triangle forms, and these three beings confront a profound and moral dilemma. In his subversive new novel, Ian McEwan asks whether a machine can understand the human heart or whether we are the ones who lack understanding. You know, humans are not great.
Yeah.
So he's got 17 books listed here. I have managed to read 2. And I think this one is going to be make it or break it for this guy. Because if it's nasty, like that one I read last night, I don't want to read them. I don't need to be reading nasty books. I read Lolita because it was on that list. Hated it because it's pedophilia.
Yeah.
I don't want to read about that. I read Death in Venice, which was a much shorter book, but also basically dealt with the same situation. Older man, younger person of interest. In Lolita, he acts on it with a young girl. In Death in Venice, he obsesses over a young boy.
Oh boy.
But he doesn't act on it. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
And that's a super short book. I can't imagine having to sit through it and have him act on his impulses. Oh, more cookbooks. The New Creative Crockpot Stoneware Slow Cooker Cookbook. That one, if it was round, would look like mine. That's an oval one, though. Wait, no pictures? Curried apple chicken. Ooh. Okay, that one's corners folded down. Fresh herb turkey breast. I did make turkey breast in the crock pot once. It turned out really good. Hearty black bean soup. Classic Italian beef spaghetti. Summer's Bounty chicken and fresh vegetables. Bean and corn chili. Orange almond rice pudding. Now I'm intrigued. I love rice pudding. Recipe Hall of Fame dessert cookbook. Winning recipes from hometown America. Oh, and this is like kind of a community style cookbook as well. Apricot almond cake from South Carolina. Oh, I guess they pulled them from cookbooks and things from these places. Pumpkin cheesecake with bourbon sour cream topping.
Huh.
Yeah, skip the sour cream. I'll just drink the bourbon straight. German chocolate angel pie. Strawberry angel pie. Angel pie. Okay. Aunt Clara's peach ice cream. Date pudding 2. Raspberry sherry trifle. I don't know that I've ever had sherry.
No idea.
Black forest cake. Four-layer cherry pie. Margarine, nuts, flour. So that's the crust, apparently. Then you got it like a cream cheese layer, cherry pie filling, and then the top is Cool Whip. Huh. Looks like there's some good stuff, and there's a whole long list of contributors. Let's see. Teach yourself visually knitting. Not your mama's knitting. Knitting for the outdoors. Knitting for the first time. Gift knits. For the first time in a very long time, I found knitting books that I can give to my sister-in-law. Usually they don't have any. This one's called Something to Do When There's Nothing to Do. A coloring and activity book by Mary Englebright. She has such beautiful, cute illustrations. And there's like posters and things that you can color. Valentine punch-outs. What else is in here? Something that you can punch out, but I don't know what you do with it. I'll have to find the instructions. There's a Santa Claus puppet thing. Or ornaments. There's a Santa Claus. My client told me I was on the naughty list. Mm-hmm. There's a little cute witch. I guess it would help if I held it up a little higher so you could see. It's got some cute stuff in it. I think it'll be fun to play with. You want to get the other box?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, we're going through these kind of fast because I'm not reading a whole lot. Yeah, because it's the biggest box out of the 4. Careful, don't fall. Your balance kind of weird. So apparently Tito's vodka is gluten-free. Says so in great big letters down the side of the box. And it's from Austin, Texas. I didn't know that. Would it be possible for you to like get on the other side of those boxes and then
Yeah, probably.
maybe we should pause while we're having technical difficulties? Either that or they're just going to get video of me laughing at you.
Probably. All I
I'm
know
sliding off into the bed.
is that I'm a cat. I should not be having issues with these damn boxes, but this box is dumb.
No, it's just heavy and you're at a weird angle trying to pick it up. Climb over these boxes.
Stupid boxes. You always.
All right, I'm going to pause you here for a minute.
What is this film?
Oh, you're so weird. Okay, last box. Did you just land in the trash can? You're so weird. Okay, so I picked up a Harlan Coben.
Oh.
I didn't think I had this one. It's called Fool Me Once. Says, you think you know the truth is you know nothing. In the course of 8 consecutive #1 New York Times bestsellers, millions of readers have discovered Harlan Coben's page-turning thrillers filled with his trademark edge-of-your-seat suspense and gut-wrenching emotion. In Fool Me Once, Coben once again outdoes himself. Former Special Ops pilot Maya, home from the war, sees an unthinkable image captured by her Nanny-cam while she is at work. Her 2-year-old daughter playing with Maya's husband, Joe, who was brutally murdered 2 weeks earlier.
Oh boy.
The provocative question at the heart of the mystery. Can you believe everything you see with your own eyes, even when you desperately want to? To find the answer, Maya must finally come to terms with deep secrets and deceit in her own past before she can face the unbelievable truth about her husband and herself. Let me guess, it's a twin or something?
Probably.
I don't know. I like thrillers. I've read some of his. He's alright. Is that the Inferno? Third one up. Dante Alighieri.
Yeah, the Inferno.
Okay. I have yet another copy of the Inferno. This is a new verse translation by Robert Pinsky. Oh my god, I didn't realize that the print was so microscopic.
Oh boy.
That is tiny. I hope I can find an audio version. Because if I have to try to read this, it's going to take me forever.
Sounds about right.
I found one called The Ghost Pirates by William Hope Hodgson. The Mortzestress is reputed to be haunted, but the crew dismisses the rumors as preposterous at first. 2 weeks out of port, the rigging suddenly goes slack. A ghostly form arises from the sea, and shadows thicken around the vessel. Excuse me. Where was I? The frightened sailors, convinced that supernatural powers are afoot, plot mutiny and demand to be set ashore. But a dense mist descends around the ship, threatening to swallow the craft and its men without a trace. The desperate crew's chilling fate is recounted in this compulsive page-turner by William Hope Hodgson, a master of seafaring yarns. Rich in nautical language and lore, it combines an intriguing view of shipboard life with a suspenseful ghost story. Be cool to add some illustrations. It's a Dover book, so it probably wasn't very expensive to start with. Oh, it was $9.95. And then I found 2 penguins.
Oh boy.
I have Friday on My Mind by Nikki French. Oh, it's a Frida Klein mystery, and apparently it's the 5th one. In the thrilling 5th Frida Klein mystery, the London psychotherapist herself becomes the prime suspect in a murder. A bloated corpse turns up in the Thames, throat slashed, and the only clue is a hospital wristband reading Dr. F. Klein. Frida is taken to see the body and realizes with horror that it is Sandy, her ex-boyfriend. She's certain that the killer is Dean Reeve, the man who has never stopped haunting her. But the police think he has been dead for years, and Frida is their number 1 suspect. With few options, Frida goes on the run to save herself and to try to uncover the truth. And to stay in the mystery category, I have Rumpole Rests His Case by John Mortimer. So let me guess, Rumpole Bailey? Because that's the only Rumpole I've ever heard of. John Mortimer's beloved barrister is back. In this long-awaited new collection, John Mortimer... It's been a long day, dude. John Mortimer gives us 7 fresh and funny stories in which the great defender of muddled and sinful humanity triumphs over the forces of prejudice and mean-mindedness while he tiptoes precariously through the domestic territory of his wife, Hilda, she who must be obeyed, with his passion for poetry and a nose equally sensitive to the whiff of wrongdoing in the bouquet of the Chateau Thames embankment. The lovable and disheveled Rumpole is at his rumpled best. Did any of that make any sense?
Nope.
Because in my brain it feels scrambled. I don't know. This one's called The Donut Trap. And it's about a girl named Jasmine who has no boyfriend or job prospects, so she works in her parents' donut shop. She wants to break free from the daily grind, but a hike in rent threatens the survival of the shop, and her parents need her more than ever. Let's see. Help comes in the form of an old college crush, Alex. He's successful and easy on the eyes, and he's also Chinese, so the parents are happy. He's everything Jasmine should wish for until a disastrous dinner reveals Alex isn't as perfect as she once thought. Worse, he doesn't think she's perfect either. So both sets of parents are against the relationship. Family legacy is about to shut down. Reappearance of an old high school flame. Jasmine must scheme to find a solution that satisfies her family's expectations and get her out of the donut trap once and for all. It's by a Chinese-American author from California. This one is Library of the Living Dead, Zombology, a zombie anthology. Edited by Rebecca May. Is there at least a list of the stories? There we go. The first story is called Susie Polinsky's Panties.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, yeah, indeed. The fearmonger calls it a night. April's Ministrations, Rule Hard or Die Free, Clockwork, Unnatural Selection, Stop Requested, Every Rose, One of Many, Your Turn, Zombie Cola, The Beginning of the End, Happy Ending, 6 Feet Above the Grave, Good Intentions, Undead Overpass, Same as You, Halloween Treats, Children of Landford's Towers, Zombie Germs, The Letter, Z-Day is Here excerpt. That's got fairly decent sized print, so I might actually be able to read this. I mean, that's pretty good size. Not like that other one that was microscopic. I picked up a copy of Brooklyn by Tobin. I don't know how to pronounce the ones with the fada over them. I know this is a movie because that's Saoirse Ronan on the front. Da, 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 da. Oh, here we go. Ellis Lacey has come of age in small-town Ireland in the hard years following World War II. When an Irish priest from Brooklyn offers to sponsor Ellis in America, she decides she must go, leaving her fragile mother and charismatic sister behind. Ellis finds work in a department store on Fulton Street, and when she least expects it, finds love. Tony, who loves the Dodgers and his big Italian family, slowly wins her over with patient charm. But just as Ellis begins to fall in love, devastating news from Ireland threatens the promise of her future. Huh. He's been shortlisted 3 times for the Booker Prize. Doesn't say he won it, though. Now, this one I have seen mentioned a bazillion times on YouTube. I know Books and Lala loves this one. It's called Catherine House. Catherine House is a school of higher learning like no other. Hidden deep in the world... Let me try that again. Hidden deep in the woods of rural Pennsylvania, this crucible of reformist liberal arts study has produced some of the world's best minds. Artists and inventors, prize-winning scientists, Supreme Court justices, presidents. For those lucky few selected, tuition, room, and board are free, but acceptance comes with a price. Students are required to give Catherine 3 years, summers included, completely removed from the outside world. Family, friends, television, music, even their personal clothing must be left behind. In return, the school promises its graduates a future of sublime power and that they can become anything or anyone they desire. I'm not going to read any further than that. Sounds like some dark academia going on. Sounds like cultish experience. So, I don't know. Rivers of North America, the Ohio River. This one he picked. From its start at the point in the center of the city of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, to its mouth at the Mississippi River, where it releases 2 million gallons of water every second, the Ohio River flows past some of the largest centers of industry in North America. Every year, huge river barges carry millions of tons of cargo from the mines, farms, and factories along the Ohio River to ports across much of the United States. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right out there. I picked up Elvis and the Memphis Mambo Murders. Easy for me to say. I have read Elvis and the Dearly Departed at some point, and I remember it being really funny. There's one called Elvis and the Grateful Dead that comes between the two. Elvis is a hound dog. Basset hound. Yeah, Elvis is a good pup. And then I found two, and I'm not sure if I have read any of these. I found Biggie and the Quincy Ghost and Biggie and the Devil Diet. Biggie Weatherford and her friends have traveled to neighboring Quincy to learn how to start a historical society in their town. First night there, her young grandson JR asks to hear about the inn's legendary ghost, a story that leaves him nervous at bedtime, hearing a ghost in the next room. But the next morning he sees the very real dead body of a young woman in the courtyard. The local sheriff, confined to the hospital with appendicitis, considers himself lucky that Biggie, whose reputation as a sleuth precedes her, is on hand to investigate. So clearly not the first book. When Biggie Weatherford's old friend Rex Barnwell returns to Job's Crossing with his young wife to convert his father's ranch into a retreat for overweight teenage girls, Biggie is forced to reveal an old secret to her grandson and sidekick, JR. Not long after this startling revelation, Rex is murdered. Knowing full well that he won't be able to keep amateur detective Biggie away, the Texas Ranger in charge of the case enlists her help. While Biggie pursues her investigation, JR has his hands full with troubles of his own. And although they don't involve murder, it might be easier for him if they did. A quote from Booklist says, think of Miss Marple's St. Mary Mead set in Texas and you'll get the idea.
Oh boy.
I kind of feel like I've read a Biggie book. Biggie and the Fricasseed Fat Man? Biggie and the Meddlesome Mailman? Biggie and the Mangled Mortician? Biggie and the Poisoned Politician? Biggie and the Quincy Ghost? But none of those titles are ringing a bell. So I guess this one comes before that one. I was trying to remember if I read this one or not, or if I just checked it out and didn't get a chance to read it and ended up sending it back. This is The Readers of Broken Wheel Recommend. Broken Wheel, Iowa has never seen anyone like Sarah, who traveled all the way from Sweden just to meet her book-loving pen pal. When she arrives, however, she finds Amy's funeral guests just leaving. The residents of Broken Wheel are happy to look after their bewildered visitor. There's not much else to do in a dying small town that's almost beyond repair. You certainly wouldn't open a bookstore, and definitely not with the tourist in charge. You'd need a vacant storefront. Main Street is full of them. Books. Amy's house is full of them. Yes, Amy's house is full of books. Apparently I'm dead. Let's see, where was I? Oh, and customers. The bookstore might be a little quirky. Then again, so is Sarah. But Broken Wheel's own story might be more eccentric and surprising than she thought. A heartwarming reminder of why we are book lovers. This is a sweet, smart story about how books find us, change us, and connect us. So I have not read this.
Huh.
I have checked it out a couple different times and just never have gotten to the point where I read it. I have Dracula, the Undead, the sequel to the original classic by, is it Dacre? Dockery? I think it's Dacre. Stoker. So is it the grandson?
I don't know. Definitely related to Grom.
He's related. Lives on Long Island, so what?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, that's not Stoker. Great-grandnephew.
Okay.
Great-grandnephew of Bram Stoker. Lives in South Carolina.
Huh.
with his wife and children. Okay? So we have that. And then we have Dracul, which is Dick Stoker and J.D. Barker. So I'm not sure how this one ties in or if it ties in.
I think it'd be hilarious though if this guy kept going, like Dracula, Dracul, Dracu, Drac, Drop, Dur, and just kept going until his
Until it's just D.
And then when he's done, nothing. Just don't even have a title at all.
Okay, so I got 2 books by Christopher Moore. Sacre Bleu. And of course, it's just blurbs. It doesn't. In July 1890, Vincent van Gogh went into a cornfield and shot himself. Or did he? Why would an artist at the height of his creative powers attempt to take his own life and then walk a mile to a doctor's house for help? Who is the crooked little color man Vincent had claimed was stalking him across France? And why had the painter recently become deathly afraid of a certain shade of blue?
Huh.
Okay, I had no idea it was going to be loosely about Van Gogh. This one is, I don't know if it's a sequel or a companion novel to, what's the name of the other one? The Serpent of Venice. Set adrift by his pirate crew, the indestructible pocket of dogs nogging, last seen in The Serpent of Venice, washes up on the sun-bleached shores of Greece and into deep trouble. He writes very bizarre stories. They're generally, in general, quite funny, or at least I think so. He did have one I really didn't care for. Well, 2 that I didn't care for. And the one is called Noir, and I'm not a big fan of noir books and films anyway. So with it being in that style, it didn't work for me. And the other one was called Lamb, and it's kind of a take on the Gospels, I guess. I don't know. It was odd, and I just didn't feel like religion worked in the context. Where did the list of books go? I will say that Secondhand Souls and A Dirty Job, which go together, are really hysterical. I really had a good time with those. The Stupidest Angel is the first one of his books that I read, and I absolutely loved it. Shakespeare for Squirrels is a riff on A Midsummer Night's Dream, where Serpent of Venice clearly is a riff on The Merchant of Venice. I kind of feel like I might have read the Shakespeare for Squirrels.
Probably.
I'm not positive. That's the thing, when you read so many books, it's hard to remember what you've read.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, stop falling over, you silly thing. Stay. You gotta get feisty. Oh, shoot. The other stuff just fell, and I don't know if I can get to it. Books. All right. Now, hopefully I have everything We have a few more bits and pieces, and we are almost done with this one. Okay.
Yeah.
So I picked up a copy of Frankenstein, a gripping retelling of Mary Shelley's Gothic masterpiece. This one has Helen McCrory, James Purefoy, and Neil Pearson. I picked up George C. Scott's version of A Christmas Carol. I picked up a 2-movie collection, Kate and Leopold and Serendipity. I think I have a copy of Kate and Leopold somewhere. I think it's out in the living room in the bookcase.
Probably.
But I don't think I have Serendipity, so I went ahead and picked that up. And I picked up Emma and Shakespeare in Love, which I believe won the Oscar that year. And I picked up one called The Haunted House of Horror. Behind its forbidden doors, an evil secret hides. It's got Frankie Avalon, Jill Hayworth, Dennis Price, and George Sewell. Remember when classic movies. Uh, 88 minutes, color, 1969. I hadn't heard of it, so I thought, well, why not?
Yeah. More movies we're never gonna watch.
We need to just have a movie marathon.
Yeah.
If only I could be paid to sit and watch movies.
Yeah.
And not go to work.
Just pay for it. Just watch our collection.
Yeah, just sit and watch. We have years worth of stuff to watch.
Yep.
This is Mellow 70s. Allman Brothers Band, Ramblin' Man, Gordon Lightfoot, Carefree Highway. I don't know that one. I'm surprised they didn't put Edmund Fitzgerald on here. Danny O'Keefe, Good Time Charlie's Got the Blues. America, Sister Golden Hair. Charlie Rich, Behind Closed Doors. Sly and the Family Stone, Family Affair. Carly Simon, Anticipation. Johnny Nash, I Can See Clearly Now. Jim Croce, Time in a Bottle. Linda Ronstadt, You're No Good. Norman Greenbaum, Spirit in the Sky. And Arlo Guthrie, City of New Orleans, which you heard for the first time the other day by Willie Nelson. Because he didn't know it was a song about a train. This is Rock and Roll Beach Party. Surf City by Jan and Dean. Surf and Safari by the Beach Boys. Pipeline by the Shantays. I don't know that one. Come On and Swim by Bobby Freeman. Fun, 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 Jan and Dean. Surf and Bird, Trashmen. You know that one.
Yep. I blame Peter Griffin.
Little Old Lady from Pasadena, Jan and Dean. Wipe Out the Safaris. Beach Baby, The Regents. Little Honda by the Hondells. Do You Wanna Dance by Bobby Freeman. Help Me Run It, Jan and Dean. That's a Beach Boys song. But maybe Jan and Dean did a copy of it as well. Surfer Girl by the Beach Boys. Papa Ooh Mau Mau by the Rivingtons. Ride the Wild Surf by Jan and Dean. Leader of the Pack by Shangri-Las. Tutti Frutti, Little Richard. Let's Twist Again, Chubby Checker. It's My Party, Leslie Gore. Shaken All Over by Chad Allen and the Guess Who. And Wooly Bully by Sam the Sham and the Pharaohs. That's some good songs. I mean, I grew up listening to that stuff because they would have the oldies show on Saturday nights, and while we were playing cards, because we played cards or board games most Saturday nights or Sunday nights, we would have that show on and listen to the 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s. So, I mean, I grew up with that stuff. Well, and grew up in the 70s and 80s. Yeah. But the music of the 50s and 60s, yeah.
Yeah.
So I have an appreciation for a lot of that. And then my love is the 80s.
Yeah.
Because that's my formative years, you know? I mean, middle school, well, most of elementary, middle school, and high school.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, I think we made it through.
Yeah, somehow.
I barely have a voice left. So, anyway, um, any of the books, have you read any of them? Are they good? Some of them I don't know a whole lot about. Other ones, the blurbs sound good. I think what we're going to do is I got some totes delivered from Walmart. If you have Walmart Plus, it's Walmart Plus week. You can get a free express shipping during the event. So I did that tonight. Otherwise, I would have had to wait till tomorrow for stuff to show up. Now, the app did something really weird to me. I clicked on one, and for a single tote, it was $6.98. And I clicked on 2-pack. The 2-pack was 99 something for the same tote. And I had to question, why did it go from $7 to $50 per tote? So I backed out of it. Then it showed me that they didn't have that tote at all. And I was like, what's going on? So I did it again, and it brought up the same tote, but in different colors.
Huh.
So I just ordered the single at $7 a piece because I wasn't going to attempt the 2-pack again, because that freaked me out that it jumped from $6.98 per tote to $49.98 per tote. No. Good way to lose business, people. Anyway, I've been having some issues with Walmart lately.
Walmart in itself is an issue.
Well, yeah, especially our Walmart.
Yeah.
They're remodeling, and it's just pure torture.
Yep.
But I ordered something and got a thing saying it was delivered, and I couldn't find it anywhere. And I thought, well, maybe he had brought it. I didn't find it outside, so I thought maybe he had brought it in while I was at work. Couldn't find it anywhere, any of the usual places he would have set something.
Yeah.
So I looked and I clicked to see where the photo where they left it. It wasn't my house. This is the second time in 2 months that something I ordered was delivered to the wrong place. And I had photographic evidence of it.
Yeah, it's like, how fucking hard is it to find the right house? Look at the address, people.
Yes, look at the address. But so I contacted them and said, hey, it says it was delivered, but the photo is not my house. I don't know where they delivered it to. And the previous item, right away, they were like, oh, we'll fix the problem. Here's a refund. This time, they were like, well, you have to wait 48 hours. We'll see if we can track it down and find your item and get it to you. Which apparently they did, because when I got home Monday night, it was sitting here on the counter. So I guess that means they found it. But I was thinking, how do you expect a driver to remember where they left each package?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Unless the place they delivered it to contacted them and said, hey, you delivered a package that doesn't belong here. How else are they going to know? Now, the one about 6 months ago, about a week and a half, 2 weeks later, I got the original item. But I had already reordered it and received it from Amazon by that point at a lower price. And they had already refunded me the money, so now I have an extra item. Because I was like, well, what do I do with it? It's already been refunded. They think it's lost out in Never Land. But what they had done was they delivered it to somebody, and then that person was trying to get it to me, but delivered it to yet another wrong location. But they delivered it to the neighbor across the parking lot, the funeral home next door, across the parking lot from there. And I get their stuff on occasion when they order from the store, and it gets delivered here instead of there for some reason. And so she contacted me and said, yeah, I have a package with your name on it that a neighbor said was delivered to them, and they thought that was me, so they left it here, and now I have it. Do you want me to just bring it over and hand it to you over the fence? I'm like, yeah, that sounds great.
The Joy-Cons? Or
Yeah.
is it? Mm,
Yeah, the controllers for the Switch.
yeah.
So I was like, okay. So I have a name brand one sitting there unopened,
Yeah.
and I have the off brand ones sitting actually on the Switch itself,
Yeah.
and they work fine. So
I
I'll
mean,
use those until they don't work, and then
and
we'll
then
switch
you'll.
over to the others.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't know what to do with that. But I would think, Walmart ought to be looking into why does FedEx keep screwing up.
It's FedEx. That explains it all. They have never been
The
good.
thing is, when I've had stuff delivered through FedEx before, it actually got here.
Yeah.
It's just if it's Walmart sending it through FedEx.
Huh. Yeah.
So I don't know. Don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, I guess Walmart's trying to do this thing where self-checkout is only for Walmart Plus members or whatever. Or you have to pay like $100 fee or something to use it.
That's dumb.
Yeah, it is Walmart.
That's even stupider than having shelf tags that change the price throughout the day.
Yep. I mean, some people actually have had where they go to the store and like they put a fake price tag so that you have to pay more. Because underneath that price tag is the actual price. And you know damn well they're gonna do the one. So if something's like $2.99, how it's supposed to be, they're gonna charge you $5.
Now I'm talking about the shelf labels, right? Where throughout the day, and it changes the price in the register. So if you walk in and you put something in your cart and it says, say it's $5.95 or whatever,
Yeah.
and it's time for that price to change, it might be $10,
Yeah.
$6, $7. I mean, anything but the price it said on the shelf.
Yeah.
So what you're going to have to start doing if your store goes to that is photograph the shelf tag, and when they ring that item up, say, nope, this is the price it was when I put it in my cart.
Yep. Once it's in the cart, that's the price it should be.
That's the price I'm buying it at.
Yep.
I really think that's going to ruin them if they do that across the country.
Yeah. I mean, let me tell you something.
The last I heard, it was just test markets.
Yeah.
And I think it is so stupid.
Yeah. That's the problem with a lot of businesses, though. They get so greedy. They have billions and billions and billions of dollars. And
Wendy's wanted to do flex pricing.
Yeah.
So that, less busy times of the day would cost, different amount than the busier times of day. And there was such a backlash against that idea that they walked it back. They said, no, we're not going to do that. Yeah. Because a lot of people say,
yeah, not going to happen.
We're not going to shop at your location if you're going to change the price on us.
Yep.
So I don't know if that's happened with the Walmart thing or if it just hasn't come to this area.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's so stupid anyway. I think, like, if
it's been about a year since I heard about it.
Yeah.
And I mean, they had videos and everything showing how it was going to work. And
oh boy,
everybody that I know who saw that was like,
hell no.
Are they insane?
Yeah.
They don't want customers?
It's Walmart.
Not like this area. We have a choice.
Yeah.
We have Walmart, or Walmart.
Yeah. I'm from here to Parkersburg. There's
in an hour radius. There's like 6 or 7 Walmarts.
Yeah, there's the one
and no other options.
Yep.
No Target. No Meijer.
Nothing like that. You have to go farther out back near Dayton for that.
There's a Target in Lancaster. I
Still
think.
too far for a Target, though.
Well, I mean, it's 2 hours from here.
Yeah,
Huntington.
yeah.
Again, that's way too far.
I wouldn't be shocked if there was one in Charleston either.
I
But
think there is. Charleston's a big enough town to have one.
yeah, it's like the bigger the city, the more options. So I wouldn't be
Yeah.
shocked. But the thing is,
Or I can just go when I'm in Dayton,
yeah,
which has been a few years now. So
yeah. I think like if somehow, some way, we could bring the dead back to life, we should bring back Walton and have him look at what his ancestors are doing. What is his family
his
doing?
descendants.
Close enough. His
Ancestors are pre.
ah. Well, their minds are all ancestry because only an idiot would come up with some of these ideas. I know you're full of greed, like every other company on the planet nowadays.
Well, at least Sam
But
Walton wanted to have American-made products and
yeah, because
help
like
industry in the United States, where
yeah,
currently
nowadays,
it's how many things can we get from China?
yep. And how badly can we hurt our customers by doing? And how badly can we make stuff check out a thing? How can we screw over our customers
People are not going
and
to pay extra to have the opportunity
exactly,
to check out their own stuff. I
exactly,
hate using self checkout. I don't work for their company.
exactly.
I should not be doing their employees' jobs.
Yep. And I know a lot of people that
And
feel the
they
same
keep
way.
talking about we need job creation. Well, get
Yeah.
rid of all this self checkout nonsense and
Yep.
hire some more cashiers.
I mean, Target has it, Walmart has it, Dollar General has it. I mean, everywhere you go, it's self checkout now.
Kroger.
Yep.
That's why I don't go to Kroger anymore.
Yep.
Because the one in Athens is ridiculous. Shutting down all the check lanes at 9 o'clock when they're still open till 11.
And having some asshole yell at us.
Oh, that guy was a jerk. Anyway, that's enough of this. I need to rest my voice.
Yep.
Let's see, it's what, 8:30?
Yeah.
No wonder I'm tired. I've been running all day since, before 8 o'clock.
Yep.
Well, my boss tried to call me at 6:45 this morning. By the time I picked up the phone, focused on that it was their name, and then hit the answer button, my phone went beep, 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 and was dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotta love the landline.
Yeah, landline sucks.
Because I had it in here for a couple days and it needed to be put back on the base.
Yeah.
All right. That's enough of that.
Yeah.
I'm ready to shut down for the night. I'm exhausted.
Yeah, at some point, need to organize everything.
Yeah, we can do a little bit of that tonight. Sort through some of these book boxes and get cookbooks into a bin.
Yeah. And all the like things.
And then figure out where to put the bin.
Yeah. And all the things from the yard sales and whatever.
Well, I'm less worried about that.
Yeah.
Deal with the books tonight. And... Okay, so I guess that's what we're going to attempt to do.
Yeah.
Remember to do all the YouTube things. Comment, like, share, subscribe. Ring the bell icon to be notified of future uploads should the YouTube gods deem it worthy. And we will see you in the next video, which will likely be, hopefully, we'll finally get to Snack Crate and Boxu and got caught up with that. Ireland box is on its way. It's never ending.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to make a decision if I want to do another 3 months of Ireland or cut it.
I mean, so far it's not bad.
I think it's a really nice box. And it's a little different. It's not all food.
Yeah.
However, what are the tariffs going to do?
Yep.
And that's the other concern I have for Boxu.
Yep.
How much is it going to go up because of all this tariff nonsense?
I mean, I could see a bunch of like these subscription boxes, not just with food, but in general, just going bankrupt because
Because people are going to end up quitting them because we can't afford the extra tariffs.
yeah, I mean
Because it's us that's going to be penalized for it.
yeah,
It's not the companies selling the boxes, although it'll trickle down to them.
yeah,
But those of us buying the stuff,
yeah,
we're the ones getting taxed.
yeah. I mean, that's the problem with everything.
Because the companies that bring that stuff in are passing that tax on to us.
Yep. And that's part of the problem with like the Switch too. And yeah, Nintendo is being stupid by overpricing the games and well, I don't think 450 is bad for the Switch 2, but
For the console.
yeah, for the console
But
itself.
for the games it's to play on it.
Yep. You're better off buying the bundle with the Switch 2 and Mario Kart.
I mean, if it's going to be $80 or $90 to download a game,
yeah, that's the thing.
You don't even get physical media.
Yeah. And if you do, it's not really physical. It may look like it, but you're still downloading data to the console. I mean, it's like Call of Duty. You buy the physical copy of the game, and you might get maybe one mode on it. Maybe, if you're lucky. But the rest, you have to go through the PlayStation Store, Xbox Store, whatever. So if you want to play zombies, I mean, yeah, it's free, whatever, because, I mean, it's an optional download, I guess. But when those servers shut down, yeah, you lose access. So when Nintendo inevitably shuts down the eShop.
What I really don't like is if you buy something digitally,
Yep.
You do not own it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing.
Recently, Amazon did this thing with the Kindle. If you didn't have it backed up outside of your Kindle, and they decide they're not going to carry that title anymore, you don't own it anymore. It's gone.
And
you don't get a refund.
Yep.
If you paid money for it, you won't get a refund. And you're just out. It's like they stole it right out of your library.
Yeah.
It'd be like somebody walking into my house and taking the books off the shelf and running off with them.
Yep.
And that's not fair.
Exactly.
If you paid for it, you should own it.
Peanut Butter Gamer actually had a tweet where he mentioned that same thing happened to him with Minecraft. Because apparently with Minecraft, when Microsoft bought it from Notch, they basically made it to where eventually you'd have to migrate your Mojang account to Microsoft. Otherwise, they'll take your copy of the game. So if you did not, migrate your Mojang account to your Microsoft account,
it's just fancy thievery, and I don't understand why it's allowed.
Yeah, that's the thing. And my other issue I have is all these live service games. The Crew is a prime example. Ubisoft made a game. Well, that's part of the problem, Ubisoft. But they made a game where most of the game is single player. But you had to be online 24/7. And when those servers shut down, you no longer have access to that game. Even if it's a physical copy of that game, you don't have access to it. So there's even no guarantee that even with a physical copy, that you can play it forever. And companies wonder, why are people pirating? This is why. People pirate solely because the pirates are offering better products for free. At this point, I don't care how morally wrong it is. I don't care how legal it is. At least there is a chance that when we pirate the game, we now basically own it. As opposed to buying the game up front where a company can just take it away from you at a moment's notice. And there are very few companies like GOG out there that are actually trying to preserve games. So when you buy a game from GOG Digital, you more or less own it.
I get emails from them all the time about different games.
Yeah. Whenever I go on to Amazon Prime Gaming, whatever, I take every game I can get. Because, it's free games.
Yeah.
And most of it goes through GOG anyway, so I got a whole library full of games. And the thing is, with that, you can download the launcher. You can download just the file itself in a zip file, RAR file, exe file, whatever. So there are multiple different ways for you to play that game. So GOG is actively trying to help the gamers out. But they're being overshadowed by every other company out there. Activision, Bethesda, EA, Ubisoft. Or as some people call them, garbage. Because that's all they're doing now. Eh,
Are you done with the same rant that you have all the time?
maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
I think we're going to leave it here. I did the spiel already, right?
I don't know.
Y'all know it by now.
Yeah, so.
Do the thing. And we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, whatever.
Bye bye.